definitely one of the most memorable studio moments. And it's not one moment, it spans over a couple different moments, was making Enchanted, which is probably to this day my most known feature or known verse. But Enchanted was a process because, so I made the beat for Enchanted. I was living in Harlem at the time. So I had a PC laptop. I had like my MIDI controller. And I want to say I was still using Fruity Loops at that time. I'm super broke. I'm living with my ex and just sleeping on her couch. And I'm making beats just every day because I'm trying to get out of here, so I made this beat one day, found this crazy sample, and did like something really crazy to the sample, to the point where like when they heard the original, it was like, how did you do this? The special part of that beat was really the sample. Like if you heard the original sample, it's weird to hear for me to hear the part I use, you would not think to use it normally. So I was always like proud of that moment. Like I remember being in the studio thinking like, one day this gonna be on Who Sample, and somebody's, because we do that. I go on Hoop Sample and I listen to like Dilla songs, the original, to see how he flipped it, or Primo. And so that was just always a moment of mine to be like, I feel like one day some kid is gonna do this. So anyway, I make the beat and I'm playing it for Cole. I made this last night, and I could always see as soon as he heard it, it was like this little look in his eye, like, I need that. But he didn't say it. And I was like, cool. So I wrote a song to it. I play on the song, he's like, it's dope. And he's like, I see the look again though. He's like, man, we should do something to that. He's like, I feel like we could change the beat a little bit. You'd only put it on my album. And of course, him at that point, at any point really, but him saying that was like, well, shit, it's gonna go on the album. Yeah, let's do it. So I think we go to Quad Studio in New York. We was working a lot out of that at that time. This is, if anybody doesn't know, Quad is the same studio that Pac got shot in. So it's always weird to go there. But so we're in Quad working on it. And we kind of strip down the beat more. I take the drums out. He does like a different kick pattern. And we just going through different ideas. So we make the beat. I think that night he wrote his verse, and I wrote like half my verse that night. The next day we came back and I finished my verse. But I eventually changed like half of my verse. So what's weird is we had that song done for like, I want to say 6-7 months with no hook. We just could not think of a hook to go to the song. And this song felt special, but it was nothing. Every idea we had for the hook just wouldn't work. So one day we're in Atlanta, and he's wrapping up Friday Night Lights. We're at Tree Sound Studio, which is to this day my favorite studio. Just the vibe there is amazing. Shout out to Molly and Groove. So we're at the studio, and it's crunch time because he gotta finish the project. To this day, I can't remember if it was me or him who came up with the idea to use Pac, Hail Mary, Come With Me, Run Quick See as the hook. I think I brought up Pac or something. I brought up the idea of using a classic hook, and I think he thought of that. But it turned out to be, an amazing song. To this day, that's probably my favorite song to perform. When I make music now, I'm definitely way more conscious of like the things that come along with sampling and the risk involved with it, because it's affected me directly with my music. I can't say that I'm gonna go away from sampling just because it's a feel. It's a special feel to sampling. It's like an artistic thing about it. I can play piano. I can make my own music, and I've done it before. But it's never the same as using a sample or chopping a sample and creating something new. So I think as long as I can, I'm gonna continue to incorporate sampling. You don't tell what somebody's sampling because it's like that's off limits. That's one of the unwritten rules. But I think today people don't follow those rules anymore, so it's just kind of like, yeah, what'd you sample? Okay, they don't get that like you're gonna get sued, like if this gets out, or it's a possibility that you get sued. But if it's something I made, yeah, I'm gonna be kind of salty. But at the same time, I kind of like that people are even interested to go that far. When I make music now, I use a MacBook that I've had a couple years. I use my MIDI keyboard controller. I think it's M Audio, and then I use Reaper, which is a program. I use Logic, and I'm actually in the process of kind of learning Ableton because I've been hearing so many crazy things about it. But I always believed it didn't matter what somebody used, it was how they use it, and I just from watching like Knife Wonder and everybody saying you can't make these kind of beats on Fruity Loops, and now there's tons of producers using Fruity Loops, I heard No ID talking about he's using Fruity Loops. I think he uses Ableton, but I heard him talking about it, like if you're a legendary producer, you can use it, anybody can use it, so I just never believed in like what you use has anything to do with what you're making.
And I knew as much as they hate it now, it'll make sense to them later. My whole philosophy just in life is to just be who you are. And I could not live my life not pursuing music, because then I would not be who I am.
It's deeper than racism. Like, some people have self-hate that's just so, to the point where they try to destroy anything around them, you know what I mean? And it's really self-destruction. It's a disease for sure.
Knowing that a lot of things will come that may affect you, he always was like, kind of peel your ears back and do you. You know, don't be affected by what's going on. Just stay focused, tunnel vision.
A black man with power doesn't feel like he can wield and control that power. So he needs to go get him a white head so he can become a worker again. Because that's what we're comfortable with being.